Phương Anh from class 23. Today I would like to make a presentation on the topic investigating second-year students' perceptions of the effectiveness of ChatGPT in assisting learners to write English essays. My presentation includes 6 main parts: introduction, literature review, methodology, findings, discussion, and conclusion. Let's move to the first part. According to Huawei in 2016, it is not easy to master all 4 English skills, especially writing skills. Therefore, many technological inventions have been made to support the learning writing, such as Quillbot, Google Translation, Grammarly. However, ChatGPT has been one of the latest inventions. While there were many research on the effectiveness of ChatGPT in general education, research on students' perceptions of the effectiveness of ChatGPT in English writing skills has been limited. So the researcher decided to conduct this study. There are 3 main questions in my research. First, how often do students use ChatGPT in each step of their writing process? 2, how do students perceive the effectiveness of ChatGPT in improving their writing skills? And to what extent do students perceive the strengths and limitations of ChatGPT in assisting them to write essays? Moving to the literature review. According to the study of Staley in 2004 and Jones in 1994, the process approach involves 8 main stages: brainstorming, planning, mind mapping, writing the first draft, peer feedback, editing, writing the final draft, and getting teachers' feedback. About some definition and features of ChatGPT. According to the study of feature in 2023, artificial intelligence, or AI, is a technological trend with broad applications and relevance for diverse purposes. And ChatGPT was firstly introduced on November 30 in 2022. Numerous studies have investigated some features of ChatGPT in various topics. For example, Hill et al. In 2017 highlighted chatbots as an innovative approach in health promotion programs, or Chen et al. In 2019 and Hakim et al. In 2020 emphasized the capacity of chatbot in customer service agents. As I mentioned, although there were much research on ChatGPT's efficacy in general education and in various topics, research on ChatGPT's effectiveness in language learning and in Vietnamese students' English writing abilities has been limited. So, in this study, to close this gap, the researcher focused on examining how Vietnamese students perceive ChatGPT's value in improving their English writing abilities. In terms of methodology, the researcher employed a survey research design and used a questionnaire as a data collection tool, known for its rapid, cost-effective, and efficient tool in gathering substantial information from a large sample size. And the collection process of data took place over 3 weeks. Approximately 200 students were the study's target demographic. So the researcher applied Yamani's 1967 formula to determine the appropriate sample size. With big N was 200 students, E was 5%, so the targeted participants were at least 130 students. Let me discuss a little bit about the participants in this study. There were 140 sophomore students, and 74.6% of them were female. 50.8% of students got the GPA at 2.5 to 3.0, and 56.9% of students got the writing at upper intermediate level. In this study, the researcher decided to use the previous sampling methods. And there were 4 main stages in the development of the questionnaire. First, review extant literature to find out the basis of the questionnaire, and then edit the questionnaire based on the existing questions. After that, the researcher sent the demo questionnaire to 3 other lecturers to get expert opinions, and then sent the pilot questionnaire to 30 students to check the validity and reliability of the questions. After checking the data of the pilot questionnaire, the researcher implemented the actual survey with targeted participants. There were also 4 main steps in the collection procedure. First, examine other studies to determine the condition of the questionnaire, and then design the questionnaire on Google form and send it to other lecturers and students to get feedback. After that, the researcher sent the official questionnaire to 130 other participants. And then the researcher cleared up the data and chose the feasible. The results were then analyzed using the version 25 of the statistical package for social science, or SPSS program, to make descriptive statistics. So here are some major findings of the study. In the first question about the frequency of students using ChatGPT in their writing process, in brainstorming step, students use ChatGPT most frequently in organizing ideas into mind maps and collecting grammatical structures. In writing step, students use ChatGPT most frequently to write the whole essay and add cohesive devices to link sentences. And in the last step of editing and revising, the researcher, the students use ChatGPT most frequently to find and revise the errors in grammar. In the second question about the effectiveness of ChatGPT in writing skills, in brainstorming step, students found ChatGPT most helpful to organize ideas into mind maps and work ideas. In writing step, students found ChatGPT most useful to create paragraphs and add cohesive devices. And in the last step, students found ChatGPT most effective in revising errors in grammar and finding them. So the data in this table indicates a strong association between the frequency of students using ChatGPT in each step of their writing process. It can be, for example, the correlation between the frequency of students using ChatGPT in brainstorming step and in revising step was good, with the R was lower than 0.3. Moreover, there was also the correlation between the frequency of students using ChatGPT and its perceived effectiveness. For example, the frequency of students using ChatGPT in revising step and in all other steps was weak, with R was lower than 0.4. So it can be seen that when students use ChatGPT in a step, they tend to use ChatGPT in other steps too. And there was one more finding that if students use ChatGPT at a higher frequency, its effectiveness was likely to increase, especially in revising and editing step. In terms of the strengths and limitations of ChatGPT in helping students improve their writing, the biggest strengths were generating content quickly and generating text on various topics. However, there were also some weaknesses of ChatGPT, which were the lack of creativity due to the over-reliance on ChatGPT, and it's causing general factual inaccuracies. So the findings again shared some similarities and differences with other previous studies. In the first question about the frequency of students using ChatGPT, a study of Soka in 2023 stated that ChatGPT mainly helps students to create outlines and brainstorm ideas for the writing task. However, in the study of Haruna Sari in 2023, the study emphasized the need for teacher-led limitations of ChatGPT. Harun Nassari in 2023 stated that ChatGPT mostly encourages inspiration, idea generation, feedback, and analyze for students. However, Basic in 2023 stated that ChatGPT did not significantly improve students' essays quality or authenticity due to some plagiarism. And in terms of strengths and limitations, Law and Order in 2021 stated that ChatGPT has the ability to generate high-quality content. However, Mueller and Law in 2019 also stated some limitations of ChatGPT, which was the spread of misinformation and disinformation. So here are some summary of the findings that I found. First, ChatGPT's most helpful aspects included organizing ideas into mind maps, creating paragraphs, and revising grammar errors. And there was the positive and some strong correlation between the frequency of students using ChatGPT and its perceived effectiveness in each writing step. Furthermore, ChatGPT's strengths also included generating content quickly, improving vocabulary and grammar, and creating high-quality content. However, ChatGPT also poses some cautions like reduced creativity and factual errors. So there were some pedagogical implications for both students and teachers. First, teachers can think of encouraging students to use ChatGPT in writing essays, especially in revising and editing step. Furthermore, they can consider having more activities to boost students' critical thinking due to some limitations of this element. And the researcher might think that the finding will be a constructive prerequisite for further research, and the in-depth analysis will make a great contribution to the whole generation. However, there were some limitations that should be acknowledged after doing this research. First, the sample size was still limited, and it can cause some potential bias for the readers. Second, there was some limitations of the convenient sampling technique. Third, the recommendations in the study may be incomplete and subjective. So it is recommended that the researcher should do further extensive research to provide better remedies for the further research. So here are some references that I used in my research. It is the end of my presentation. I really hope to receive your comments and questions to make my research better. Thank you for listening.
Congratulations for completing your presentation. So, teachers, do you have any questions?
Would you like to go?
No, actually I don't have any question because your paper is very straightforward and very comprehensive. I just want to acknowledge your research significance from the perspective of a practitioner teacher. So I think that your research topic is interesting one, very timely and relevant to our community. And then actually the finding does inform me certain ways to make adjustment to my current instructional practice. So thank you. Really appreciate your research.
Okay, actually I have one small comment to add. After discussing with Mr. Lillian, and we agree with one point that, in the research you follow a very standard process of writing, including 8 steps. But in actuality, I don't think that all students follow those steps. So you use a survey question to pick on all those steps, you see. But in fact, I'm not sure if all the students will follow strictly those steps to to write something. Because for me, normally when I receive a topic, I just think a little bit and then I just write away. I just write it. So I believe that if you can, actually this one is quite potential, but there is a way that you need to somehow make sure the student follow the steps. And by that way, I believe another approach, the quasi-experimental, might be more interesting, in which the students are very carefully instructed to follow those steps. And I believe it will be more effective. And one more thing, since the use of ChatGPT now in writing, somehow it is still can be seen as a way, not yet, but I think it's still controversial. And is there any way for you to make sure that even we have a student who used the ChatGPT to write a whole essay from the beginning to the end, but they may be reluctant to admit that, and then they put down in the questionnaire. Is there any way for you to eliminate those kind of psychological factors so that they can open up to your questionnaire? Well, because for me, if I use the ChatGPT 100%, I may not have the confidence to admit that I do that. You see? So
yes.
Is there any way for you to do that?
Yes, actually, the participants in my study was the students in general. So I think that they can practice using ChatGPT at home to write their essays. When they have to do an exam to submit to their teachers or the faculty, they will need to understand clearly what they write and what the content of their writing is. So I think if they use ChatGPT 100% to write essays, their teachers will make some questions, and it can check that whether they do on their own or using AI applications to help. So, because of the limited sample size of this study, I only check on uni students, and in my opinion, uni students are very intelligent, and they will not definitely use ChatGPT in the whole writing process. So in the further research, I will do this topic on other type of students.
Yes. And I believe in the further research, perhaps you would want to add one more tool to collect the data, because right now everything is just throughout the questionnaire, and especially you asked about the perception. You see, so you can somehow, and the effectiveness. You see, so perhaps you need to apply some sort of material analysis, to analyze their writing. Yeah, I think it will have a more thorough data. Okay, so thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so would you like to listen to me?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm very
So it can be said that the topic is quite hot today and useful. So I would like to know about your own opinion about ChatGPT. First, ask my question: are you going to become a teacher of English or a teacher in general?
Yeah, sure. Because I got the long inspiration from my mother. It's also the excellent thing.
Okay, good. So using ChatGPT may enhance students' business or reduce their teaching ability. So what would you do as a teacher to avoid this?
As I mentioned in pedagogical educations, there should be the combination of students and teachers actions in the whole learning process. And as a teacher, I will boost the students' productivity by having some more games during the class for the students to have the chances to get peer them to have some communication, but without phones. So they can have more direct communications, and they have to think of each other's ideas to learn from.
Will you allow them to use ChatGPT as a source of reference officially in the class?
Reference.
Yes.
Actually, if I were a teacher, I would not allow them.
Why?
Actually, I haven't investigated deeply in the use of ChatGPT in helping students in reference. Because most students nowadays often use Cypher or other websites which are more reliable in helping students cite their references.
Can you avoid this? As Mr. Nguyễn Anh have said, they can use ChatGPT, but they will not say this. So, what do you do in this situation?
Nowadays, students...
You do not allow, but they will. So, what would you do as a teacher?
That there is a pretty practical methods. That is, I will check them directly in the class by choosing a website or a journal, and let them write on the boards.
Tức là em sẽ không thể cấm được đâu. Không thể cấm được đâu.
Yes.
Bây giờ vấn đề là em làm thế nào để em kiểm soát quá trình đấy và em hỗ trợ người học để họ có thể xem ChatGPT như một cái reference thôi, và hỗ trợ người học để học tốt hơn. Nghĩ về điều đó chứ không thể cấm được đâu. So thank you on your presentation. Bây giờ hội đồng cần một tôi cực kỳ nhau mà em phải là supervisor. Bạn quản sinh đó, Phương Anh, Lê Ngọc Anh, Hoàng Thị Bay Linh, rồi các bạn đều lên rồi. Trước tiên là cô thay mặt hội đồng chúc mừng các em đã hoàn thành rất tốt cái nhiệm vụ cuối cùng của đời sinh viên, đúng không? Nhiệm vụ rất là quan trọng, gọi là khóa luận tốt nghiệp. Tôi sẽ công bố điểm và sau đó sẽ có một số lời dặn dò thay mặt cả khoa hay là nhà trường. Bạn sinh sẽ là 9.0, 8.6, 9.0. Bạn Phùng Phương Linh là 7.5, 7.3, 7.5. Bạn Hoàng Thị Mai Linh 9.1, 9.2, 9.4. Bạn Lê Ngọc Anh 9.7, 9.6, 9.7. Bạn Lê Ngọc Anh là cái phần presentation là được 10 triệu. Nguyễn Thị Dung 8.6, 8.0, 8.5. Nguyễn Phương Anh 9.2, 8.9. Cô chúc mừng các em. Cái khóa luận tốt nghiệp này thì nó cũng như là một cái gọi là sự khởi đầu của việc nghiên cứu thôi, mình thực hành thực tập nghiên cứu thôi, và thầy cô thực sự là cũng nhìn các em như là những người tập sự và cũng chống trên cái tinh thần là chống cho học trò của mình đang thực hành những cái bước đi trong nghiên cứu. Trên tinh thần là support cũng rất là nhiều support tiếp. Hy vọng rằng là các em cùng với những gì các em học được ở ULIS, ở VNU, các em tiếp tục mang nó vào đời. Và cô cũng sẽ cảm ơn lúc nãy có một số bạn lên trên này đã mention đến chuyện là rất tự hào là sinh viên ULIS, đúng không? Cô cũng thay mặt các thầy cô cảm ơn các em về cái cảm xúc rất tích cực đó. Và các em cũng mong rằng cái niềm tự hào ULIS đó thì các em cũng sẽ tung bay tiếp, và đến khi mọi người bảo là em đã từng tốt nghiệp ở đâu và em rất là ngẩng cao đầu bảo là tốt nghiệp ở ULIS, và mọi người cũng ghi nhận chuyện đó. Rồi, con cảm ơn.